The following program is a presentation of Jez Sports.
Hello there everybody and welcome to the Main Event Podcast. My name's Dan, that is Jez. How you doing, Jez?
I'm doing all right. I'm slightly in the festive mood. Like the kid finishes school tomorrow, and then it's all on the watch as many Christmas movies train as possible.
Oh my god!
And I might even mix in. Might be like Christmas movie. A World Tag League New Japan event, Christmas movie, World Tag League, and just do that. And then I might actually catch up with World Tag League because, that hasn't gone very well watching that. Not like G1 where I was just on it and watched every event. No, I think I'm on, what did we say, the 14th. Obviously, the event has finished. I think I'm on like December 2nd or something.
Oh.
And there was a good 6 events before the end. So that hasn't gone very well, but I've watched all the other wrestling. I'm caught up there.
Right.
All the wrestling we're going to talk today at the very least, but festive and lacking in other time for other wrestling. So there you go. How
enough.
Are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Dealing with the rain as usual. So it's what happens when you have an outside job. Yes,
or a child have to go outside and get her. But do you know what I've started doing for the school run?
What?
Getting a hot water bottle.
Yeah.
And putting it in my inside pocket of my coat. Just keeps my core nice and warm, and I look a bit fatter, but oh well, you know.
Do you know what I've got?
Have you got one of those like special jackets that warms?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. How much did that set you back?
Like 50 quid.
It's not too bad. I might have to look into. Is it a full coat or is it like an undergarment type thing?
No, it's a full coat.
Oh.
Full waterproof coat, hoods, everything. Sleeves, everything. You just literally get a battery pack and just plug it in and away you go.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that because Jez doesn't do cold. I really don't. No. I do warm. Really like, warm is nice. I like warm. Yeah. But I don't do cold. No, absolutely not.
No.
But one thing that I do like cold, Dan, is the all-natural energy drink from Goat Energy. And I'm partaking in some Funky Goat this evening, cherry flavour. You're back on the...
Horny Goat.
On the Horny Goat. You're feeling a bit edgy today. Yeah, if you would like to have the chilled... Well, you got to chill it yourself. It doesn't come with a fridge. But the chilled, beautiful taste of Funky Goat Cherry, or the mango-y mango taste of Horny Goat, then do head over to goatdrinks.co.uk, use the code JEZ10, and you'll get 10% off your order and free shipping. And if I haven't mentioned it already, I recommend the cherry.
You do recommend the cherry a lot.
Right. So, format for today's show. It's the first one we've done since we've switched things up, where we've actually got events to talk about.
Yes.
So we're going to do some just general topics, some news first, important things going on around the wrestling world. Then we'll do NXT Deadline, Impact Final Resolution, get on out of here and watch a Christmas movie. Sound good?
Good.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can go to bed if you want, but I know what I'm doing. So, last week on SmackDown, shortly after we went off the air last week, or at least a day later, Charlotte Flair suffered a potentially severe, quote, knee injury. And it's looking as severe as she might miss WrestleMania. Certainly the Royal Rumble, and maybe WrestleMania as well.
Yeah.
I couldn't really work out how the injury happened. Like, it didn't look severe enough to cause serious damage, but clearly it did. And what are your thoughts on the idea of a Charlotte Flairless start to 2024?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't particularly bother me either. No. Like, I feel sorry for her, obviously, as a human being, but in terms of the Charlotte Flair character, and Charlotte Flair, the WWE superstar, I don't really give a toss, and I feel like it'll open up avenues for other women to have some spots. But I suppose it hasn't been too bad with Charlotte recently. She hasn't been fully rammed down our throats in the way that she often is. But you knew that time was probably coming, and she was probably going to beat Io Sky for the women's title on SmackDown. So maybe this is a saving grace for the rest of the SmackDown roster. Maybe not. But get well soon, Charlotte. Not too soon. You can be happy sat at home, raking in that cashola and not being at WrestleMania. Maybe you could be a manager for WrestleMania. That would be fun.
That'd be fun.
Come in and be a mouthpiece for someone. Why not bring up Tiffany Stratton to the main roster and have Charlotte Flair be like an extra mouthpiece for Tiffany Stratton doesn't need a mouthpiece, obviously. No, but can you imagine that pairing?
That would be great.
That would be incredible. And then when Charlotte's healed, they can both go for the women's tag titles and win them instantly, because that would be a team that I would find insufferable, but in the best kind of kayfabe way. Yeah, that would be good. In terms of the rest of the WWE roster and elsewhere, actually, the other piece of news to come out this week is that many contracts are expiring in 2024, as you would expect. Time rolls on, contracts expire. But there are some big names next year, including Seth Rollins, which is a new piece of information. Drew McIntyre, we already knew that was coming up. Becky Lynch, and then over in AEW, Dustin Rhodes, and in Impact Wrestling, Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah.
Let's start with the last one, because Impact Wrestling are on a bit of a signing/re-signing kick before they switch over to the TNA Wrestling brand in January. Do you think it's a good idea? Pretend to be Deonna Purrazzo for a minute. You've just become instantly more attractive. Put yourself in Deonna Purrazzo's shoes.
Yeah.
Do you re-sign with Impact Wrestling, or do you test the waters elsewhere? If so, where would you like to be?
Not sure, really. I think because she did do a very brief stint in NXT, I believe. Very, very brief, and just didn't get anywhere. So I don't know. I think if I were her, I'd re-sign with Impact going into TNA.
Yeah, I would be tempted either by re-signing with Impact or seeing what AEW have to offer, because their women's roster still isn't really resonating. No. I don't think. It's a lot better than it used to be, especially with the young talent that they've got in AEW, like Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander and Sky Blue. That whole thing that they've been doing there, and Julia Hart, that's all been really, really good. Yeah. But in terms of like main event women's stuff, there's nowhere really close, other than Toni Storm doing her thing, which is more entertaining than it is main event. But I think Impact Wrestling is probably the best place for her, but there is an element of, has she not done it all already?
I know.
Is it going to offer her any kind of challenge, or is she just going to win the Impact Women's Knockouts, whatever it's called, title a couple more times, take in some easy cash, and that'll be that? I just wonder if she wants more, really. The other aspect of it is obviously her husband is with Impact Wrestling in Steve Macklin. Do they want to split themselves apart? If Deonna Purrazzo goes elsewhere, would Steve Macklin also be welcome? That's, I
don't know. He's already had a bit of time in WWE, didn't he?
Yeah, and I don't see him going back there.
The less said of that about that, the better.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault really. The issues that took place there, but yeah. Before we move on to the other names, hello Ali, welcome in. Yeah, you are correct. There was no Don't Get Me Started on Tuesday night. One of the other shows that I do, not part of Jez Sports, but in general. and he has very helpfully put Jez10 in the chat. It's not a code you use in the chat, no matter where you're watching, Ali. You have to go to goatdrinks.co.uk, and you can use that code to get 10% off these wonderful drinks. Get the cherry. It's beautiful. Oh, and you get free shipping as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yummy. Right. Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins, I can see re-signing easily.
It's not even a contest, is it? He's not going to go to AEW. He is probably the companiest of company guys that exist in any wrestling company right now.
Yeah.
I can see WWE using it to lowball him a little bit, which is a bit underhanded, but it's business, and that's probably what will happen. It's like, you're not going to go anywhere, so we can pay you crap, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. He's not going anywhere. Drew McIntyre we talked about before, but time has passed. Do you see Drew McIntyre re-signing with WWE?
Yeah.
I think it could go either way, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been elsewhere. He's had success elsewhere. He's never been in AEW.
Yeah, it's very true.
But does he look at the AEW kind of roster and system and go, I'll just get lost in the shuffle there like almost literally everybody else?
Yeah.
Is he fulfilled in WWE? Probably not. Will they give him another title run? Probably not. So it's a difficult decision for Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch?
I think she'll stay.
Yeah, if Seth stays, she'll stay.
She'll stay. Yeah.
If by some crazy, outlandish miracle Seth Rollins decides, oh no, I'll just go and make bank in AEW because they've offered me a ton of money, then I think Becky Lynch follows. But
make more money.
Yeah, wherever one goes, the other will go. But I think it's both WWE. Yeah. And then finally, Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, well, he hasn't really done anything prominent recently, has he? So
no. He's, had that The Last Ride moniker for his entire AEW tenure.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really seem very Last Ridey.
No.
Like, I would have expected them to put a belt on him in AEW.
Yeah.
He does a lot for, developing young talent and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But is that enough to re-sign him if you're AEW?
Unless they do re-sign him and just under you just come and develop the young talent sort of contract.
Yeah.
Trainer contract.
I wonder if there's somebody in another company, shall we say, putting in some words to reunite with his brother on television.
Yeah.
Maybe convincing a certain three-lettered named executive to give Dustin that retirement tour in WWE, perhaps.
Yeah. I reckon he should retire in WWE and then kind of do Dusty Rhodes thing where he went to NXT and basically ran NXT backstage, trained all of them and all that. I think that would be good.
Cody's been quite vocal that he doesn't want to do that, even when he retires. He doesn't want to try and fill Dusty's shoes. But Dustin, on the other hand, I don't see that being an issue for him, really.
No.
Will he fill Dusty Rhodes' shoes? No.
No.
But will he be of immense value to NXT? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't exactly get any worse than the way that it's being booked at the moment, can it? But I mean, we'll get to that when we talk about NXT Deadline. It wasn't.
Get William Regal as well.
Well, William Regal is there. He just can't be on television until his AEW contract expires.
Yeah.
And at which point you'll see him probably, talking up his son and
shouting war games.
Probably, yeah. You'll know when William Regal is allowed back on television again, because that will be the first thing that they do. They'll trot him out on Raw. He'll get a huge pop. He'll say absolutely nothing except for war games, and then off we go. Again. Yeah. War games.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Nice to see you. It's great to be back here in whatever town we're in. War Games. Yeah, so there's a lot of intrigue there. This obviously doesn't include several other superstars, wrestlers whom we don't know the contract details of. A lot of that is kept under wraps. But we shall see. Certainly some interesting names. Could see some big splashes from Impact Wrestling, or TNA, whatever you want to call them. Because another name that isn't on that list, but is getting a lot of chat at the moment, is Kazuchika Okada.
Oh, yes.
Whom you dropped that news last week that his contract with New Japan is up, and he may potentially test the waters stateside. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is appearing on that Impact
Snake Eyes
thing.
Which I don't really understand that event or what it is, or
I don't know what it is,
or why they haven't just got it's just another event the day after the Hard to Kill pay-per-view that apparently they're recording for broadcast at a later date. Just do the stuff at Hard to Kill, and then just do a normal Impact taping if that's what you're gonna like. Why have you got to confuse things? They've got so many named events that are just Impact tapings, or taping things for their random hidden gems of matches you didn't see type things that they just drop on YouTube. No, just book the show and have a pay-per-view. It's not hard. I don't know what they're doing. It's very confusing. Anyway, speaking of very confusing, we'll move on to the two events that took place this past weekend in NXT Deadline and Impact Wrestling Final Resolution. But the confusing aspect of that coming in is that we come into this event with absolutely no points to our name in the predictions.
We are donuts.
Yes. Now, it's not that confusing because it's the start of a new quarter and this is the first pair of events. But seeing 0 next to our name for so long is slightly off-putting. So I will be glad to get this event underway and for us to get some points. I'm going to push this new button that I set up.
Ooh.
There you go. We can have a little bit of change going on.
Yeah.
Kickoff show first. Started with Axiom versus Nathan Fraser. Not a huge amount to say about this one, really.
No.
This isn't going to be like our full rundowns that we used to do on the main event podcast. Basically, we're just going to blast through and only talk about the things that we really have opinions about, which in the world of NXT might not be very much, but we shall see. We'll go through the prediction for that one. We both went for Nathan Fraser. Therefore, it's not exactly the start that we wanted.
We're donuts.
I really thought that was an easy get on the board. Get this one out of Deadline. You'll have to point to it. We're
Deadline.
We're still
that way.
Yeah, we're still waiting for our little card to tick over onto one.
Or if I poke it.
Yeah, maybe it's like an old school TV. You've got to give it a bit of a hit to get it started. Yeah. Well, no opportunity to get any points as NXT Deadline kicked off. HBK started the show. Was interrupted by CM Punk, whom Ali has name dropped in the chat. Yeah. Let us know your thoughts about the return of CM Punk to WWE in the chat out there. What did you think of this start to the show?
It's just weird.
It was bizarre, wasn't it? I remember Shawn Michaels being one of the most charismatic, talkers in WWE history.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what's happened to him. He can't speak anymore. He books some really terrible angles and gives weird gimmicks to really good wrestlers. Yeah. It's just a bit bizarre. And he and CM Punk were just tripping all over each other the whole segment.
Yeah. They were basically just making it up on the spot, it seemed.
Yeah, which both are very capable of and have done in the past. So it was just awkward, really.
It was really weird.
The best word to describe the whole thing. It was awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also kind of pointless. CM Punk was never going to be signing with NXT.
No.
We knew this. We discussed it last week that he's just doing the motions and will sign with Raw, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Apparently, it did good ratings.
Yeah, apparently.
It's on social media, at least, when they replayed it.
Yeah.
Fine. Whatever. Yeah. Let's get into the show proper, because this is a match we can actually talk about.
Finally.
NXT North American Championship, Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee, accompanied by Rey Mysterio. What did you think of this match?
Where was Judgment Day?
It's a good question.
Where was Judgment Day?
Not even Rhea.
No, you remember the last time Dominic lost the NXT North American Championship? Rhea said on the Raw afterwards or something or whatever, said, don't come back to the Judgment Day without the title.
Yes, yeah. No,
so
I do remember.
It's like, where was Rhea to kind of help him out?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the rest of them, Priest and Balor have got their own thing to do with the tag titles.
Yeah. Well, where was JD then?
Where was JD McDonough? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was Rhea Ripley?
Where was Mammy?
It was a bit weird and just reeked of we're selling a story rather than telling one that makes sense. Because why wouldn't they be with him? It's in their best interest for him to retain the title by hook or by crook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the actual match itself?
Dom was very in control, I think, most of the match.
Yeah, he definitely dominated it.
He was on it. Also, Ray was just funny.
Yeah.
For once.
Yeah. I actually didn't mind Rey Mysterio in this. He's embraced that I don't want my son to be successful kind of shtick, which is weird because it's a massive turnaround from I won't fight you and you can basically do anything to me and I'll just ignore you.
Yeah.
And then to all of a sudden it's like, kick him in the face, Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
Hit him really hard below the belt so that he can never procreate.
Yeah.
It is entertaining, albeit a little strange. But there is one thing about the Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley not being there. I do feel like in this match, it gave Dom a real opportunity to show how far he has come.
Yeah.
Especially since, breaking away from his dad. He didn't really develop in any way, shape or form through COVID or even that kind of post-COVID era.
Yeah.
From when did they actually get back into it? They did the WrestleMania and then they came back for like July, I think it was, wasn't it, or something? Or
something.
There was a little break still, but regardless, it was only really when he joined the Judgment Day that he started to improve. He is definitely the biggest heel in all of WWE.
Yeah,
maybe even in all of wrestling. Full stop. Now that MJF is babyface.
Yeah,
I'm struggling to think of a more disliked character than Dominic Mysterio. Even in AEW, they tried to have Swerve Strickland be diabolical by breaking into Adam Page's house and leaving notes in his child's bed, and people still love him and still chant whose house, Swerve's house.
Yeah.
Christian is probably the biggest heel in AEW, but even he's not booed to the extent that Dominic Mysterio is. And you could argue that some of that boo is piped in, but I can see the vitriol in people's face in the crowd, and they might be piping some in, but the majority of that arena is giving it large and booing.
Yeah, they are going for it.
I will argue that Dominic Mysterio generates all of that himself.
Yeah.
I would argue that all day.
Yeah. Fair play to him.
Yeah. But didn't help him very much in this match because, as we did briefly discuss last week, maybe Dragon Lee was going to take the belt and go back to NXT, and the audible of Wesley being injured, Dragon Lee's long lost cousin Wes, obviously. Yeah, it's good to keep it in the Lee family.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Family.
And despite our conversation last week where we were both like, yeah, Dragon Lee will probably win it, I stuck to that gun and predicted, and you did not.
No.
What made you change your mind?
I don't know. I was kind of mulling it over, like, number one, that thing I said about Rhea Ripley saying don't come back without the title, it's probably upset the apple cart. And number two, Dragon Lee's just moved up to SmackDown. So are they going to put him up to SmackDown and then suddenly demote him back down to NXT again? But,
I mean, that was always the issue. This is two main roster superstars battling over an NXT championship. So, I just think Dragon Lee will be on SmackDown with this belt this week, continuing his feud with Santos Escobar, and that'll be that.
Yeah.
And he'll probably lose the belt at Stand and Deliver.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe even Vengeance Day. Who knows how long they want to keep it. They've got some time to think of a plan now, so maybe they will. But that means that I will start this show, finally, We the Ones.
Yeah, all right.
The royal we, obviously. There's only one of me. I'm not schizophrenic, honest. Next match, Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. Tiffany Stratton versus Lash Legend versus Blair Davenport versus Kalani Jordan versus Fallon Henley. I've got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed this match.
So did I.
I think that this Iron Survivor was the best one of the two on this night.
Yeah.
Possibly even the best Iron Survivor of the four that we've had so far, including last year's two. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the women really stepped up.
Yeah.
And in a division that has been massively lacking, the NXT women's division, I feel like these four women, and Blair Davenport obviously is a veteran. She's been around the indies and been around for a while. But the four homegrown NXT talents really lived up to this moment, including Lash Legend, and Lash Legend is arguably the most inexperienced of the group.
Well, there's Kalani Jordan.
Yeah, but she's on paper she is the least experienced, but then you saw what she did in the breakout tournament, and she's just got it.
Yeah,
I can't really explain it in any other way other than she's got it.
No,
it makes sense. And overall a very good match. I really like Lash Legend stacking up Tiffany Stratton and Fallon Henley to just get 2 straight points. Nice, unique happening there. Metafloor blocking the box and everything that came from that, with Fallon going through the table and Tiffy diving from the Tiffy top of the box.
Yeah, the Tiffy top.
I'm surprised they didn't say that, actually,
Yeah.
Booker T never usually misses the opportunity for a cheap pun, and he did in this.
But I don't like listening to Booker T anyway, so
I don't think anybody does.
No.
Not quite sure why he's employed as a commentator. He's got a lot to offer in terms of, being a developer of talent.
Yeah.
Reality of Wrestling does great things. It's brought in some really great people, and maybe even as a booker, he could literally be Booker T. But as a commentator, no. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But I like this match.
Yeah, I loved it as well. It was great.
We both went for Fallon Henley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much for that.
Yeah. And as it was unfolding, I could see our prediction evaporating. I'm like, now that I think about it, it makes sense. What's her face? Lyra Valkyria has only just won the belt, so they're not going to really put somebody who's going to, beat her for it straight up.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a heel, and it's going to be someone that Lyra Valkyria will have a good story with, but ultimately just beat quite easily.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. And Blair Davenport is that candidate.
Yep.
So I'll stay as the ones.
I'll be a donut.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Yeet. Yeet's bag. Next, Carmelo Hayes versus Lexis King. Any thoughts on this one?
No.
No. Match that happened for sure.
Yeah.
We both went for Lexis King. Womp womp. Still 1-0. Men's Iron Survivor Challenge. Dijak, Trick Williams, Josh Briggs, Bron Breakker, Tyler Bate.
Mm.
Now, we mentioned that this wasn't as good as the women's Iron Survivor, but did you enjoy it regardless?
I did enjoy it. After that, I did enjoy it. I liked, as much as it wasn't my prediction, I liked that Trick won in the last moments.
Big time.
I liked that, and he came back. I also liked Bron Breakker coming in and just decimating everyone, as he should do. That's what he should do. That's his character.
It's literally in his name. Break.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think pretty much everyone got a good showing in this.
I do as well, including and especially Josh Briggs. I feel like he really stepped up and showed out amongst the main eventers. I know that Trick Williams is still quite new to that kind of main event scene. But he's definitely considered a main eventer in NXT. Josh Briggs looked great. There was a moment that I got a little excited watching Josh Briggs in this match. Yeah. Under his arm, in the tattoos that's kind of in this area, I spotted a lightning bolt.
Oh, right.
And in amongst all the movements, it looked to me like the Power Rangers lightning bolt, like in the middle of the Mighty Morphin logo. Oh my God, is he like a huge Power Rangers fan? I'm a huge Power Rangers fan.
Yeah.
Kind of is literally my business that I run. And so I watched a bit more, tried to get another look at it, look a bit more closely, and then I was disappointed to see the Batman logo and I think the Green Lantern logo. I'm like, oh, okay. It's not the Power Ranger lightning bolt. Mm-hmm. It's the Flash. He's got a little DC homage under his arm, in his armpit. I'm like, oh. Oh, well, he was still good in the match, but he could have been so much better. I'm like, Josh Briggs might be my new favourite wrestler. Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah.
No.
As much as I like the Flash, the question is there a Green Arrow thing under there? Otherwise, I may have to disown Josh Briggs if there's no Green Arrow in amongst all that DC, to be honest with you. But yeah, I agree with you. I really like the ending. I really like Trick Williams just clawing it back in very quick succession. Yeah. Decent match. The women's was better, but decent match. I went for Bron Breakker, and I was really excited at one point that was just going to come to fruition. Yeah. You went with Tyler Bate. I don't think Tyler Bate's going to get to do anything in NXT. I
just felt like throwing a curveball in that one.
Yeah.
I was like, it's 5 guys.
Just 5 guys.
Pick one. Just 5 guys.
It was a very difficult one to predict. And actually, this show was pretty damn unpredictable. If I do say so myself, as someone who has got one of the, what are we on, 4th match? Right? Yeah. And you haven't got any right. So, either we're terrible or it was unpredictable.
Yeah.
I'm obviously going to go with it was unpredictable.
It was unpredictable.
Yeah.
But
still 1-0.
Yeah.
Yikes. Next, Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James in a steel cage match.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't really do it for me.
No.
I quite like Kiana James, but I don't know. This gimmick isn't really working for me anymore.
No, I don't know.
No. The only bright spot comes from your prediction that Kiana James would win. Really did not expect that. So that takes you to 1, and now we're both the ones.
The ones.
Or Sabu, if you will. Main event then.
Yeah.
NXT Championship, Ilya Dragunov versus Baron Corbin. Any particular thoughts on this one as I swipe away whatever this dust is circulating in front of me. Weird.
Nothing really. It's just a Dragunov match.
Yeah, they seem to follow a pattern.
Yeah.
They're good, don't get me wrong, and I really like Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah.
They're always good matches, but they are slightly inevitable.
Yeah.
He gets beaten up a little bit, and then he goes, "Rrr!" And then he does the cool, like, falling punch thing, whatever that's called.
H-bomb.
That's it, yeah. Which is a controversial name to give a Russian for his move, but sure. Yeah, it's all a bit, that was good, but there's no real standout moment, and it was a bit inevitable, and I just feel bad for Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
And, we talked about it a fair bit last week when we were discussing, previewing this.
Yeah.
He's going to lose, and then what's next? And who knows what's next, but...
God knows. God knows.
We both went for Ilya Dragunov, which means finally there's some points flowing, and we will finish NXT Deadline on 2. I don't know about a thank
you.
Yeah. Okay. Not the greatest start to this quarter, if I do say, this first event. That's probably the worst combined, the worst predictions that we've done. Like, each of us have had bad shows.
This was awful.
But the other usually pulls it back, and this was bad.
This was god awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that translate into the actual show itself, though? And I ask you, Dan, on this day, to see clearly and give me a rating for NXT Deadline 2023 out of 5 Bret Hart hoodies. Pink ones.
Pink ones, yeah.
As commented on by HBK.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad show.
No.
And I'd say it was slightly a bit better than fine. So I don't want to give it a 3. So I'm going to go 2.75.
Okay. I am going to give it 3.
Okay.
On the basis, and you can tell me if you agree or not, I think that this was the best show that NXT have produced in this calendar year.
Yeah, I could go with that, I think.
It's more telling of the rest of their events that they haven't been particularly brilliant, but this one was unpredictable, and I love an unpredictable show.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there was a match that was bad on it.
No.
There are a few average ones that we've just skimmed through, but none of them were bad. So I think 3 is fair.
Yeah.
If there was some, key epic moment, then we might have been talking about 3.5, even 4. But even on a good show, they managed to just kind of undersell and disappoint slightly.
Yeah.
Dear, oh dear.
Dear, oh dear.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just have a little swig of my beverage, feeling a little parched, so I'll rely on some Funky Goat to fill that void.
Go for it.
That's better. And then I will hit my other button, and we'll move to our second and final event of this episode of the Main Event Podcast. And the final Impact Wrestling event ever.
Yeah.
As they move to TNA in January. Now, they said it a lot. The final Impact Wrestling show ever. Does that mean there's no Impact Wrestling TV show for the next few weeks? Or is it just like clip shows?
Maybe.
Or like...
Maybe.
It's like, what, you just not? And I respect that. That would be the best possible thing to do. It's like, no, pay-per-view out. See you in January. Yeah. Not even anything for that first 2 weeks of January, because there's Hard to Kill's like on the 13th or something.
Something like that.
So that's, 2 weeks basically before you get anything. And if they are actually doing that, kudos.
Yeah.
Big time balls. I love it.
Yeah.
But is there just going to be like, oh no, we did do an Impact taping after this actually, and here's some Impact Wrestlings that don't mean anything, and then we'll just fizzle into TNA on the 13th of January.
Yeah.
So, watch this space. I don't know, but hopefully they disappear from the face of the earth for the next 4 weeks? 4 weeks?
Yeah.
5 weeks since it happened, I guess. 4 weeks from now. Anyway. Slightly difficult to predict the countdown because of the 3 shows, the 3 matches rather, that were on the pre-show. Only one of them was advertised. PCO versus Jesse V. Good to see PCO, but whatever.
Yeah.
Jack Price versus Aiden Prince. No idea.
Whatever.
And then the advertised match of Frankie Kazarian versus Sheldon Dean.
Gene.
Yes. Who's Sheldon Dean? No one. Is that?
I don't know. Why are you saying Sheldon Dean? It's Gene.
Oh yeah. It's Simon Dean, isn't it? Do you remember Simon Dean?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Former ECW alum doing his fitness gimmick on Raw.
Yeah.
I liked Simon Dean. That was quite fun. This isn't Simon Dean. It's Sheldon Gene.
Sheldon Gene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This match came and went.
Yeah.
The only bonus of that is that we both said that Frankie Kazarian would win, and so in our first prediction, we're getting into this one as the ones.
Yeah.
Thank God for that. I couldn't do another event like NXT for predictions. Impact World Tag Team Championship next. ABC versus Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. We very heavily wide last week as to why this was happening. The clue was in the why. Are you satisfied with the explanation that they gave as to why this match was a thing?
Not really.
No, I'm not either. It's like, Moose is busy, so he's asked his buddy Eddie Edwards to team with his other buddy Brian Myers. Why does he care? Just say like, Brian, sorry mate, I'm busy, I've got a world title shot, see you in a couple of months. All right, Moose, no problem. Yeah. But no, they had to get Eddie Edwards doing something.
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
Match was
whatever.
But we both went for ABC to win because of course they would. And that means
logic.
We are on 2. Definite thank you for that one. Then there was an impromptu match for some reason between Alicia Edwards and Jody Threat. No prediction there. I didn't even underline who won. I assume it was Jody Threat. I think I fell asleep.
Jody Threat.
Yeah. Then Impact Digital Media Championship. Tommy Dreamer. See, I'm going again.
You're right here.
Tommy Dreamer versus Dina. Not Tommy Dina, as I tried to say.
They have merged into one.
I don't know if that would make either of them any better.
No,
I don't think it would. What did you think of this one?
It was a fine match, I think. It wasn't anything spectacular.
No.
Just fine.
The thing that I really want to talk about from this match, and it's not just because I predicted Dina, spoiler alert, is Tommy Dreamer really the right person to carry the now TNA Digital Media Championship into this new era?
No.
Why wouldn't you use this opportunity? Just drop it to Dina now. Like, why would you not do that? Like, all the respect.
Got somebody else in mind.
There's no events now.
Yeah, but perhaps he drops it at the first ever TNA one.
That's the other thing. What? So they're not going to build towards Hard to Kill. They're not going. Like, no, we've got our matches. We'll just make them up.
Yeah.
That's why they're putting so much emphasis on Snake Eyes the following night, is because they can actually set up matches for it on Hard to Kill. Yeah. Hard to Kill is just going to be a bunch of meetings and saying, right, you're gonna wrestle with Okada and okay, weird. Why wouldn't you drop this to Dina here? I don't understand. I don't know. Like, all the respect in the world to Tommy Dreamer for what he has done, but mate.
Yeah.
Look at yourself, please. It's time to move on.
Yeah.
You're just falling all over the place, honestly. Yep. And I'm not talking about, the stumble and fall that Dina did after being kicked in the face, because that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That made it into my notes. And I did like the end. Dina costing himself the match by being planted into the championship belt that he set up on the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
And like, he knew it was coming. It was like, oh, he's put that there. That's the end of that. He's going to face plant that himself. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went for Dina. You didn't. You went for Tommy Dreamer. You're a glutton for punishment. But it does take you to 3. Good for you.
3.
Good for you. Next, Mike Bailey and Trent Seven versus Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. Not the advertised match at all. It was supposed to be Mike Bailey versus Trey Miguel, but yeah. We'll stick with the predictions anyway, mainly because we both went for the winner, so it gives us a point. I'll go to 3. That's 3. That's what you're on. That's what I'm on. There you go.
4 Horsemen.
Really, though? You ditch a singles match for another tag team match on an event full of pointless tag team matches?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Who's booking this crap?
Yeah, some idiot.
And I get why they did it. It's because they wanted to make a big deal out of their new signing. Trent Seven has signed with TNA. What do you think about that?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't going to sign anywhere else, was he? So
no.
He did have a cup of coffee in AEW.
Yeah.
But they didn't think enough of him to bring him back.
No.
And it's not that he's bad. He's great, in fact. I really enjoy Trent Seven. But he's at the tail end of his career, isn't he, if we're being honest about it?
Yeah.
So TNA is really his only option.
Yeah.
I want to see him... The retirement home. It is a bit, unfortunately, the retirement home now, but I do want to see him turn heel because, and I haven't been privy to most of it, but when I went to the New Japan show in London, Royal Quest, Trent Seven was heel.
Yeah.
And there had clearly been some kind of overarching story where he had just been a nightmare.
Yeah.
And was just a horrible person and was being derided by everyone. I'm like, I would like to see that Trent Seven in TNA now.
Yeah.
Turn him heel immediately and just make him an arsehole.
Yeah.
I would like to see it.
Yeah.
But good on him. I feel like TNA needed more people. As long as they can wrestle, great.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, we're going to blast through a few forgettable matches on our way to the main event. Jake Something versus Jason Hotch. Still, crap gimmick, good wrestler, sorted out. We both went for Jake. 4 to me, 5 to you.
Mm-hmm.
Rhino versus Moose. Press the button.
Moose.
At least I got the chance to do that. We both went for Moose. I'm on 5, you're on 6. Trinity and Jordan Grace versus Deonna Purrazzo and Giselle Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
Both went for Trinity and Jordan Grace.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on 6, you're on 7. This has gone a lot better than NXT.
Yeah.
Fair play. Only real noteworthy thing there is that Giselle Shaw actually turned on Deonna Purrazzo after the match, after they lost.
Yeah.
We might actually see some edge, a mean streak from Giselle Shaw going into 2024, which is nice.
Finally.
And then, the main event, which has to be talked about just because it's got Zack Sabre Jr. in it. The Motor Sabre. The Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, versus Josh Alexander and Zack Sabre Jr. Or Zack City Jr., if we're to continue this spoonerism that I've got going on. Thoughts on this match?
I thought it was good. It's what we wanted to see, wasn't it?
Yes, it was the technical showcase that we wanted. Would you have preferred a singles match, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, so would I, and so would literally everybody.
Well, title match.
Yeah. I mean, the only issue with that is that clearly Zach was on loan on the basis that he doesn't lose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he's coming here, he's got to win.
Yeah.
Or at least not take the pin in a loss. So, tag team match. Yeah. We need more Zack Sabre Jr. in TNA.
Yes, we do.
And being that he is under a long-term New Japan contract, I feel like that can happen on a sporadic basis.
Yeah.
Zack Sabre Jr. can make a little bit of extra money, actually get himself on TV in the States, which will be good for him when he comes up for contract after that, and then probably inevitably signs with AEW.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was glad to see him there, and I thought it was decent, but would have been better as a singles.
Yeah.
I would have preferred Josh Alexander versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah,
or Weapon Bollocks, as Zach called Josh Alexander.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of hate that because I hate that kind of nonsense, but I did chuckle when he called him Weapon Bollocks. I'm like, all right, fine.
Just embrace it, man.
I can't. It's so basic. He's so basic. I just
embrace it.
It's like, oh my god, Isle of Sheppey nonsense. Anyway,
just embrace it, man.
But yes, and this was really a final failure on what was a decent event predicting. Because we both went for the machine guns. Because why wouldn't the arguably the best tag team in Impact history beat the two random singles guys who shouldn't get on probably? Weapon Bollocks and Sabre Bollocks, whatever he calls himself. So we will finish this event 6 for me, 7 for you. Get to do my Motor City, and you get to give me the finger while also visiting 2 parts of the United States. Which means that the score on the door coming out of our first 2 events is I am on 8. You are on 9.
Yeah, baby.
Hasn't really broken the tradition that we had from previous. Finally, it's time to give this event a rating. So I ask you, Dan, you know it's coming, to give me a score out of 5 Weapon Bollocks.
Oh, it's going to be painful.
Who's got 5 of them, honestly?
I don't know if I can say it's better than NXT.
Oh, it absolutely wasn't. Let's get that right.
I'm gonna go lower and go 2.5.
Oh, mate, that's generous.
Oh, really?
For an event that is historic and should be looked back upon in years to come as the last Impact Wrestling event, the final hurrah for Impact Wrestling, where they should have come all guns blazing.
Yeah.
They gave us 67 tag team matches and then another tag team match that wasn't supposed to be a tag team match. Yeah. And there wasn't a standout moment on this entire show. There was barely any championship matches, and even the championship matches that we had was, what the hell are you doing booking that ending? And fine, ABC win. So I can't go any lower than I'm going, because at least it was a wrestling event and it existed. But 2. Not good. Not good. Better than some Impact, that we had in the end of the last decade, but not what you want for their last hurrah. To get people going, oh yeah, that was great. Can't wait for TNA in January. I'm going to be first in line to watch this pay-per-view. Yeah. I'm like, oh, if that's what we're getting, why will I bother?
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah.
On a brighter note, well, slightly brighter, we will get a better event this Friday for Ring of Honor Final Battle.
Yeah.
But it will be a much longer event and will probably have more matches than the 2 shows we've just discussed combined.
Yeah.
Let's count them, because I want to know.
Oh God.
Okay.
Here we go.
So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches on NXT. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 matches on Impact. Okay, maybe not then. That was a lot.
That was a lot.
11 matches and none of them were brilliant? What the hell?
A lot of pain.
That was a lot of meh, honestly.
It's called a lot of pain.
Yeah, but yeah. Ring of Honor this weekend, if you can watch it, because it's on Honor Club, but I guess I'm paying for Honor Club, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Well, we'll see you next week for Ring of Honor Final Battle discussion, as well as all the latest news around the wrestling world. We'll probably make a start on our end of season, let's do the awards next week as well.
Oh, yeah. Got that.
We'll probably skim Final Battle and we'll do our end of year awards, because then we can have Christmas off. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. Do remember, I've said it enough that I don't need to say it again, to get your Go Energy drinks. Code's down the corner there. You know how to do it. I've said it several times. And we'll see you next week. I've been Jez.
I've been Dan.
This has been the Main Event Podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.